he saw his daddy sitting right there beside him, watching over him and trying to protect him from everything. And what God is saying is that even though you feel like you're by yourself, I'm sitting right there beside you. I'm kicking hands away from you. I'm swatting bugs off of you. I'm looking and I'm protecting you from dangers you do not see. So even when we feel like nobody's in that seat, God is there.
Thank you for tuning in to our broadcast. We pray that you are blessed by the message as we discuss what's in your heart. Now back to the word.
Well, it's easy for me to forgive you for what you've said. But it's difficult for me to forgive you for how you made me feel. I can forgive you for calling me out of my name. But I might not be able to forgive you for how you made me feel like a boy, or how you made me feel insignificant. I may be able to forgive you for not showing up on time because things happen, but I can't. It's hard for me to forgive you from how I got dressed up. I sat and I waited by the phone. I waited outside the door and looking for your car to come up. And how you made me feel like I was insignificant. I was nobody. I was not important for you, for you to call back and say, I'm going to be late. I'm not showing up. So, I can forgive you for that. I can forgive you for having other relationships, for having affairs, and for cheating. I can forgive you for that, but I can't forgive you for how you made me feel. How you made me feel like it was my fault, like it was something that I wasn't doing. I have a hard time of forgiving on how you make me feel. But God says that, as we always read, that we are to forgive our debtors as he forgives our debtors. So if we want to walk in harmony with God, we must first learn how to forgive. Unforgiveness creates an environment that even the oldest member is hard to progress beyond that. That even the wisest member is still stuck in that little boy or that little girl mode because he or she is still wrapped up in how you made me feel. It's not what you said to me, but it's how you made me feel when you said it. I understand that you might be having a bad day, but what did I have to do with that? Why did I have to get all of the backlash because things didn't go your way? Why did you have to make me feel like I wasn't important, like I didn't look like you, like I didn't have the same name as you, that I didn't come from the same struggle as you did, I don't have the same hardships that you have, that I didn't cry when you cried, that I didn't pray when you prayed? How could you make me feel like I was nobody to you? It's hard for me to forgive that because it's attached to everything that I do. When I get back into a situation that looks like that, I remember how I felt when I did it last time. And I'm not sure if I want to feel like that again. When I get to the place in life where I'm working for folks and I remember how it felt when I gave you all 150% of me and you fired me because you said that you didn't feel like you needed me. I can't forgive you for how you made me feel like I didn't have responsibilities. I didn't have children to take care of. I didn't have bills to take care of. But you left me hanging dry when we started this thing together. God said that I forgive you of your debts, not just the way you made God feel, but what you said to me, how you blasphemed me, how you made me feel as your father, your creator, how you made me feel as everything. If I can forgive you of all of that and I don't have, there's no residue left behind, then the folks that have made you feel the worst, he says you have to forgive them too. Solomon was trying to tell his son that you have to focus your attention, not to the left, not to the right, but you have to focus your attention in front of you. Not be conformed by the things of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. I have to change my pattern of thinking. I can't continually think the same way I thought when I was 10, when I'm 20. I can't think the same way when I'm 20, when I'm 30 and 40 and so on. As God opens up opportunity and blessings within me, the things that I think about ought to be different. because I've been exposed to different things. I've gotten some wisdom now because I've failed a few times. I've had my heart broke a few times, and I've learned how to evolve in my thinking, but it should not go outside of the realms of what God says. Just because the man does something that is beneficial to him, if it's outside of God's word, I should not follow. I have to change the way I see the life that God gave me. I don't care if we were born in the world. God says that you're not of the world. So we have the ability, we have the responsibility to look different. The way we say hello ought to be different. The way I smile ought to be different. The way I cry ought to be different. The way I go through troubles ought to be different, because my help is different than theirs. Don't get caught up in the drama. Don't get caught up in the hysteria. Don't get caught up in the confusion. Don't get caught up in the issues. Focus your attention on God, because He's our problem solver. He's our way maker. He is everything that we need. Solomon says that you have to put your spiritual blinders on, and you have to look in front of you, and you have to change the way you think. If I still deal with people the same way I dealt with them before I found out who Jesus was, then I'm stuck. I'm stuck in a time that I have not spiritually matured. And in order for me to find out the fullness, the potential that God has in me, I have to spiritually mature, which means that I can't wait on folks to apologize to me. I have to go ahead and say in my mind, I forgive you anyway, even if I never get it. I like the philosophy that I like to work smarter, not harder. So if working smart says that I have to trust God, and I don't have to break my back, injure my body, stress my mind, that I can go to bed at night and say, Father, now you gave me this. Now, God, you're going to have to do something with it, because I have absolutely no idea what to do with it. And I can go to bed, sleep like a baby, and in my dreams, in my sleep, God can lay out the entire vision for that thing that you said was too much for me. He says that you have to prove. Watch God. Go ahead and trust Him with your babies, because you can't follow them to school anyway. He says, watch God. Go ahead and trust Him with your finances, because you don't know if the bank's going to collapse anyway. You have to just watch God. Go ahead and trust God with your health, because the doctor's just practicing medicine anyway. You have to just watch God and see that He'll do what He said that He will do for you. Even before your habits change, God starts to change. You start to see evolution start to occur in front of you. Even before all your habits are gone, God's still working things out in your favor. But you have to change the way you think about it. You have to change the way that you feel about it, because your feelings, your emotions will dictate what you think, because I'm still stuck on how you made me feel. Pride. Matthew 6:21 says, for where your treasure is, there your heart is also. Otherwise, he's saying, Deuteronomy 8 and 17 through 18 says, otherwise you might say in your heart that my power and my strength of my hands, I created this wealth. But the folks that know God would say, but you shall say, I remember the Lord, for He is God. For it is He who has given you the power to make wealth, that ye may conform to His covenant, which He swore to His fathers at this day. Deuteronomy 8:17 through 18. So you have to be careful about pride. Pride is that thing that makes you want to beat on your chest and say, I did this all by myself. I didn't need no assistance. My daddy wasn't there, and I became a good man anyway. I didn't need my daddy. I became a great woman anyway. I didn't need my mother, and I became great anyway. I didn't need my brothers and sisters. I didn't need nobody to help encourage me, to help support me. I didn't need nobody to show up for me. I did this all by myself. He said, be careful of pride, because pride will destroy your heart, because you think that you got here all by yourself. But if it had not been for God breathing life, if it had not been God for breathing purpose, if it had not been for God giving you talents and gifts, if it had not been for God making opportunities for you, if it had not been for God for protecting you from dangers seen and unseen, if it had not been for God, you wouldn't have breath to be able to say that I did this all by myself. Everything that we have done, we ought to give God the praise for. If it's just making a meal, God, I thank you for the ability to be able to turn the stove on and the gas, the house, not blow up. God, I thank you for that. It's because of you. God, if it's just brushing my teeth, Father, I thank you that I put toothpaste in my mouth and somebody did poison the bottle and I fall right out on the floor. God, it's because of you. God, I thank you for clothes because somebody else is walking around without clothes. God, I thank you. It's because of you. It's not the abilities within me. It's everything that God does that makes us able to be who we are. Don't let pride, don't let your arrogance, don't let you be puffed up too much to exclude God from everything that you do. Without God, everything is impossible. But with God, all things are possible. So we have to hang on to the fact that I can't do this without God doing it through me. I mean, I got some gifts, I got some talents, and I'm okay. But I need God to do the things that I can't see. I need God to touch the folks that I need him to touch in order to make this thing worth something. It doesn't make any sense for me to have an idea and God has not touched the people to support that idea. I need God in everything that I do. Father, I need you to help me with my children because even though they're my children, I don't understand them like you do. But I need you to help me with my children. Everything that we need, God says, it's because of me. God, I need you to help me with this talent because I know, God, you gave it to me. I can do it with my eyes closed. But if you do not program my mind to keep my hands and my eyes and my feet going in the same direction, he said, when you needed me the most, I was already there. When you figured it out for yourself, he said, I was already there. Before you had the thought in your mind to ask me to help you, I was already. You need to ask me to help you because I've got it all in my hands. I need you to know that I love you, that I protected you, that I promoted you, that it's because of me that you live and you breathe and you have your being. When you were thinking God things, I was there. Don't let your pride get you to a position that you exclude God. 23, verse 23 and 4 in Proverbs, key verse. He says, watch over your heart with all diligence. Make an extreme effort for watching over your heart. So what's in your heart? He says you have to watch. You have to watch what you love. You have to watch who you love. You have to watch when you love. Because God says that there's a season and a time for everything. And you have to watch how you love. Because there are some things that you're going to have to love in a different capacity, but as long as you love. When we get to the point of discovering what's in our heart, that's when we can ask God, the doctor, the great cardiologist, Dr. Jesus, go ahead and sit me on your bed and lay me out. Give me that anesthesia that I can giggle and laugh and go to sleep, and that I know that I'm in great hands because you've got nurses that have been trained, grace and mercy, to watch the table and pass you scalpel.